this.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hedgehog Mix. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we're going to be unboxing the Sovol SV06 Plus. This is a printer that I immediately said, yes, let's do it.
Okay. Better? Better? Yes, okay. New audio source. The camera is on it has an audio input. Hello and welcome to Hedgehog Makes. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we're going to be unboxing the Sovol SV06 Plus. Like I was saying, this is a printer that I really feel like is going to make a big impact on the market. So there's not a lot of reviews on this yet. There's a couple, but essentially it's good. It's good. So serious. If I was serious, would I seriously have my leveling soup? So it turns out we have two of them. Perfect. Home style. Home style leveling. Alright, we'll get into that later. So why don't we just get right into it? I mean, this is a printer from Sovol. Let me grab a link for it. I didn't even put that in the... whatever. You guys can look it up. Look it up yourself. Go to Modbot's page and get his referral link if you want. Because one of the ones who... did you do a video on this? Who did this printer? Nero did it? I don't know. Some people did it. No, it wasn't. Did Modbot even review this printer? I don't remember. Did you lose audio? Or is it just you? Just you. Just you. Okay. So yeah, this was try unboxed and try tested, I think. Right? Was it Nero, and then I did Deaths, and then Joel, something like that. But how are we looking today? How's the stream performing? Everything all good? Everything sounds good. Levels are good. I don't typically stream onto YouTube, so this is a different profile than I typically have. So yeah, let's take this out of the box. I don't have a ton of room to work with, so I'm gotta work with whatever I have. But we're gonna attempt to Clipperize it, like, right away. I'm not even gonna bother testing it, because Klipper is just like any other firmware, meaning I can take Marlin, the stock Marlin, and put it on this printer again, and just use it. So no worries. So in the box we get some foam. Always save your box. Save your box in case you have to send it back. With all the packing material. So don't, like, start throwing stuff away. I know it takes up a lot of space, but there can be issues. Ooh, look at this. We have a spool. Like an actual spool. Huh. A leveling guide. We don't need that either. tips. Oh, cool. We'll read that. A manual. Manuel. Wow, big Manuel. Okay. Awesome. We have spool holder with a jank filament sensor. Okay, it's like a universal joint. Interesting. This is a printer where it does make sense to have a filament sensor. It really does. We have US plug. Okay, so it's just the... What the heck is... Look at that. I see some stuff already in there that are... It's interesting. More foam. Got soup, we don't need the manual. Exactly. We have our... Here. We'll proudly display our soup. I didn't kick out of that. What else we got here? We have... what is this? Foam! I always wanted foam. Feel free to share this stream to anyone who might be interested in this printer, because I know a lot of people were interested in the regular SV06, but the fact that you can get essentially an SV06, but bigger and boldly claimed faster, bigger and faster don't always get along. This is an amazing deal if it all works well. Wow, so we have the entire print head right here. So look at that. Look at it. I said look at it. Don't look at me. Look at this. Don't look at me. I'm ugly. There we go. So we'll go over that. Comes separate. That's kind of nice. More foam. Bed slingers aren't meant to go fast. Oh, just you wait. Alright, then here. Before I read the manual first, but let's just start taking stuff out. Wow, that is a big printer. Woo! Wow! That is a big printer. I know it's a big printer, but I wasn't expecting it to be that big. And just reference, this is my 350 4XY. That's like about 50 millimeters smaller, which makes sense if it's 300. Hermit crab can head. What? It does kind of look like a hermit crab, doesn't it? The hot swap came out, so we'll check that out. I honestly didn't do a whole lot of research on this printer on purpose. Not because I'm lazy, but because I wanted the first time user experience. So we have a thin, flexible sheet. I like to have a thicker one. This is very thin. Like, oof. Eek, that's very thin. The issue with these is they can sometimes taco when you're printing something big. I could compare this against the normal PEI or like a thicker PEI sheet. I like it when they're double-sided too, because I feel like they're thicker, or they have more like mass to them. So I would have loved to have seen at least a smooth side on here. This is not PEI. This is just bare spring steel, unfortunately. But they have textured, which is good. It makes that sound when you wave it's too thin. Oh yeah, it's very thin. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm glad that they included that instead of glass, because I would have had to just buy PEI. And that size is expensive. I know exactly why they went cheap on it, because it is expensive to get good, large sheets. At least buying it on the regular market. Of course, when you're buying in the bulk, it's very different, but wow. Alright, there's that. Let's have a power supply. Ooh, blackout mode. We have a Shenglang 500 watt power supply, 21 amp power supply. Woo! Wow. It's on 230 volts. So the first thing you do when you get a printer is you check here. If I was to turn this on, it would function kind of weird. So before we forget, we're going to flip this to 115. There we go. And it's usually set to 220 because it's less of an issue if you plug in a 220 device into a 110 circuit. Also check output. We can check it, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. It shouldn't be that far off. And even if it is, it's not going to make that big of a difference. It doesn't have to be exactly 24 volts. It really doesn't. So I think that's it. I'll double check one more time over here, but this is a big box and I want out of the way. I'll put it in the pile of the warehouses of boxes. Oh my god. I feel bad for actual reviewers who have to get all these printers. Where do you store the boxes? Think about that. That's a lot of boxes to store. Alright. So, we have soup. Let's check this stuff right here. Start with this. Just this. Joe can't use this garage that's full of boxes. I believe that. You have to literally have a garage full of boxes. It's crazy. So let's switch over to the close-up camera. Go. So in this accessory bag, we have this. We have our US plug. Remember, the quality of twist tie is a perfect indicator of the overall quality of the device. So we have okay-ish, a little bit jank twist tie, but not too bad. I'd give this a 7 out of 10. Perfect. And yes, that's a real thing. And then the power cord is average. Not too thin, not too thick. This looks like it's some type of mounting. We have a spool holder with some type of bearing, so it spins. But it's not super loose, which is great. If your spool holder is too loose, the spool tends to overwind. I have that issue when I build just regular skateboard bearing spool holders, is that there's too much or too little resistance, and it causes issues. So this is going to be a great solution between not having a bearing at all, but then still being able to spin. Well, that's good. Yeah, we're going to talk about that spatula. Okay. Why? First of all, it's a PEI. So to remove parts on this, you go like this. But then let's say you have a skirt. You don't put metal against metal. That's like the last thing you do. Plus, this thing is like, thick. It's thick. It's not even sharpened. So what's the point of it? And is that like a wooden handle? What is this thing? Huh. Yeah, maybe a combination of both, but I don't trust metal against. Is PEI metal? This is actually a plastic coating, right? Looks like a Bondo tool. Yeah, some type of like putty thing. We have the lube. I actually got, I think, the same exact one in my Kaiwu. So this is actually a thick grease. I'm not gonna take it out, but it's a thick grease, which is interesting because in order to use this, you have to completely remove your bearings from your printer in order to access them. You cannot insert grease into a linear bearing without taking it off because they have plastic or rubber gaskets on the sides to prevent the grease from getting out. So that's interesting that they include it, which is nice because it seems like they might have lubed it. We'll take a look. Yes, I'm on YouTube today. Every time I do an unboxing like this, it's on YouTube. We have more... This is a waste of cardboard. Some snips. Put that in the bin of snips. I kind of like these ones, the ones with like the thick overmolding. Not bad, but I still prefer the larger the style. So I just buy these instead. Haven't scratched PI yet. Alright. Fair enough. Okay, this is very important. This is a volcano nozzle, but it's not a volcano nozzle. You have to buy Sovol's specific volcano style nozzles because they're longer. They have this extra little tip on them. Why? I don't know the answer to. If anyone knows in chat, that would be good, but you have one of these wrench things. Those are for changing nozzles. I use a little hand wrench personally. And then some miscellaneous supplies. Oh, they give you tweezers. That's nice. They do give you tweezers, some Allen keys, and a couple of different size wrenches. So pretty good set of tools. That's for the spool holder, zip ties, and then bolts. So there's going to be bolts to assemble the unit. Not bad in terms of accessories out of the box. They comes with a SD card and SD card reader. It's NETAC. I think same thing as they typically include on reality printers. It's all the same stuff, I believe. So that's that. Put that aside. We have the screen. It's even worth taking. We're not going to use the screen, to be honest. Let's just leave it on. There's your peel. Ha! Disappointed? I hope so. Yeah, we're not going to be using the screen because we're going to be using Klipper. And I don't know if we can get Klipper working on this screen. I doubt it. Because it's a touchscreen. And these types of touchscreens I don't think work with Klipper. But let me know if otherwise. I have all the documentation. Which is the same exact thing as the regular SV06. So if anyone knows the answer, let me know. I'll be relying on you guys for some of this to get this done in a decent amount of time. So, accessories, great. Alright, so, I'm going to put this aside for now, just to make sure we don't accidentally scratch it. Or damage it. Damage it. It's on the pile of foam. Now we have the printer. Let's take just a quick look. Any visual defects, let's check the strain relief, etc. So in terms of strain relief, there is very much improved strain relief. They did a great job on that by the looks of it. A better job. I'm not going to say great job, but a better job. I still don't like how this cable is kind of loosey-goosey. I never like that because it can get caught on things. So I still don't trust that system. I've run into issues on most of my printers. So that looks good. Has a... The main tool head is a ribbon cable, but it's a sleeves ribbon cable. Not that it makes a difference. But let's leave this all on for now. I'll flip it around to the right side. This printer has... what is this? Oh, that looks like the... Oh, interesting. So they use a 3-pin connector. Oops. They use a 3-pin connector for the power. Presumably, yep, have ground, neutral... Actually, no. Ground, plus and minus. I don't think I've ever seen that I know of. I've never even actually seen this plug. It's an MT60. Not XT60, an MT60. But very nice to see. I'm not taking apart the power supply because it's all put together, but we're going to assume that it's correct. I'm not going to bother probing the pins either. So, looks good. Cool. The bed. Stuff does lie flat. Very smooth. Very nice. With a little bit of resistance, it feels perfect. A little loud, which makes me think it could probably use more grease, but runs good. So good. Then let's check these axes, just the x-axis for now. I hear a lot more bearing noise on this one. And it's hard because it is connected to the motor. It doesn't feel as smooth, I'm not gonna lie. It does not feel nearly as smooth. You can kind of see it kind of stuttering as I move it. Maybe a little too high tension. So it's using a smooth idler on this side. It's not using a toothed idler. So that could play into some artifacts because this is a Gates belt. It is the LL2GT, but even then, it's best to run it on a toothed idler, which is kind of weird. Why would you include a smooth idler when you can include a toothed one for the same cost? That doesn't make much sense. 4XZ. I personally think it's useless because I don't really use Z-Hop, so it doesn't matter how fast my Z is. Down here, I'm sure it's using the same smooth idler, but the bed feels smoother than the X-axis, which is very strange. Maybe it's because it's weighted down. Not sure, but that's something to note. And these are all injection molded parts. I love the Keller. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that Keller. Although this has some junk on it. Looks like it's fuzz. But actually fuzz on the ear. That's from. But yeah, I'm not impressed so far with this motion. It sounds crunchy. I don't like it when stuff sounds crunchy. So we'll run it and test it and make sure it moves smooth. But crunchy bearing sounds, I don't like that. Okay. Let's read the manual. SV06 Plus. Dear customers, thank you for choosing Sovol printers. Sovol is committed to providing excellent machines to 3D printing enthusiasts all over the world. Okay, cool. Notice, do not use the printer by any way except otherwise described herein to avoid personal injury or property damage. Do not place printer near inflammables? Inflammables. Inflammables? What? Alright, we have parts. Step 1, assembly. Install gantry on the base with 4 M5x50 screws and tighten the screws. Okay, so don't just install them, but tighten them. Well, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't know which screws to use anyway. So it wants us to install the base. Oh! This printer is nice. This printer is nice. So instead of having to do it from beneath, like a Creality, like an Ender 3, you can screw it in from the side. That makes so much more sense. Oh, and for reference, the frame is a square of extrusion. So these are V-slot extrusions, and on the front, it looks like some form of 2040 like smooth extrusion, which is great. That's exactly what you want on a 3D printer. You don't want the H frame. That's not good. That's not rigid. You want to have a box. Boxes are rigid. we're going to take this and right down in here. And it also has cutouts. Not only does it... Let me try to show this. This one. Not only does it have the side slot, but it has a cutout. And then this right here also has a cutout. So when installed, it sits in very, very secure. That's actually really nice to see. I'm not sure if I've seen that before on a printer. Front and back extrusions. These are plastic covers. These are plastic covers, but behind it, it's mounted to a metal frame. They have tapped holes, so you can tell it's metal. So yeah, all this motor mount stuff, that's all connected to metal, and then it has a nice aesthetic cover, which a lot of other printers don't. So that's nice. I love the leveling knob, or the belt tensioning knob. It looks really good. Can you quickly take it off? No. Can you even take it off at all? Oh, it's a screw. Oh, some type of screw. Neat. Can you show it more detail? I thought the panel in the front. But what? More detail. I thought the panel in the front. I sort of can. I'll show you the back. If I can. So, there in the back, you have your plastic injection molded part, and this is metal. So you have a metal extrusion connected into the sides right there. Then your motor mount is metal onto metal. So that's kind of nice. And yeah, the color blue, I'm not sure how well it's going to translate over the video, but it's a nice blue. I like that. It's kind of a subtle blue. And for reference, in the background, that's Polymaker's teal. Which filament does that blue match? Oh boy. I'm not gonna find it, but if you can figure it out, that'd be cool. But it's kind of like a... I don't know. I'm not... We're not going there today. No colors. No colors. I think it's closest to this one that I own. Polymaker's Stone Blue. Oh no, that's darker. Lighter than a Stone Blue. You can figure it out. Slate blue, dusty blue, darker teal. Yeah, it's like a dark teal. It's like a green. This is a blue-green. Blue-green. Blue-blue-green. Alright, let's carry on. Let's actually screw this together. Actually, you can barely tell it's not assembled. That's really good. When the printer is assembled just by slotting into place, that's really good. I like it. So let's take this and screw it in. These are M5 by 50s. I think I said to use those. Start by replacing the colors. Well, that's a good question. These are all injection molded. So is replacing with a printed part going to increase the quality, or could it actually hurt the quality of the printer? M5 by 40, that's going to use a M4 screw. I don't have one of those. I have my Harbor Freight set. Are there lock washers? Lock washers for what? Rotten mint. I love it. Everywhere I go, there's colors. Everywhere I go. Now, something of note, I am not squaring the X, or the Z when I'm doing this. I'm just tightening it. How many bits to drink the soup cold? All of them. In fact, I think my wife would kill me, because this is her soup. I don't drink soup. So we're going to tighten this up, just like it says. We're not even going to check and see if it's square. Okay. Grab the other side. This, thing is attached. The control board is attached and we can talk about that when we get to there. You think you can run a test print before you mod? Oh, heck no. Heck no. Okay. Is Klipper modding? Because it's just firmware. Like I said, we can just throw back on Marlin anytime we want. In fact, we should probably update it anyway. There's probably already an update for Marlin. Let's get this tightened. I'm guessing that the machined or cut or whatever extrusion is square. I'm running under that assumption. So it says tighten. We're going to tighten. I can check with the 1, 2, 3 block just to kind of guess and see. This side's a little harder to test. I can do this side. Feels maybe ever so slightly off. Like it's leaning forward a bit. So we can fine adjust that in the future. I would like to see a brace for this for sure. This should totally have a brace because it's a tall printer. It should have a brace. It should. In my professional opinion. I'm professional. Good grip on the feet. It's hard to slide around. Reminds me of building my Voron. Good grip. And pretty weighty. Reasonably heavy. You could probably Marlin. Yeah, I don't bother with Marlin. It's too involved for what you get out of it. It's great if it comes stock, but it's not something I ever want to have to modify. Okay. We are going to then install the power supply. So that's over here. We need our M4x20s. Use my 3mm screw for that. M4x20. Gives us, how many? 3 of these? Oh, these are 12. That's why. And it also says step 5 on it. Only I knew how to read. That would be useful. Alright. So this goes on like this. I'm assuming it faces down. I'm not plugging it in yet, by the looks of it. But our power supply is like this, and like this. Quality of the power supply, I honestly couldn't tell you. It looks like it's the cut hole, and then it's not blind jointed, but it's hitting the middle of the extrusion to thread in. Seems good enough for this. Good enough. And the screw gets hidden, nothing sticking out. In, maybe, tight, loosen this one up a bit so we can get this going correctly. There we go. Never tighten all the screws at once. Kind of get them all started and then tighten them when they're all in. Okay, I'm not going to snug this up too much because this is power supply. We're already on the extruder. Awesome. So, wow, there's a lot to unpack here. Get my print's done. I like how the Kaiwu beeps at me. I'm just doing filament samples. This is... So it's running a Pancake NEMA 17 on what's going to be a orbital planetary gearbox. It has a tensioner arm right here. I believe it's using large gears. Let's verify that. Larger gears than BMG, at least. Yeah, so it looks exactly like an orbiter. In fact, we can compare them. Have one around. Have a random orbiter. This is why I was excited about this, because not only does it include a direct drive toolhead, but it's running orbiter gears. That's very cool. So this is the This is the Sovol, and then this is the LTO Orbiter. So very similar size drive gears, where the BMG is going to be a lot smaller, and having that larger gear gives you more surface area. And from what I have kind of researched, the larger your drive gear, the cleaner your extrusion is going to be, because you're not digging into the filament as much, you're kind of pressing against it. So more contact area generally produces better quality prints. So that, combined with the orbital gearbox, I'm expecting the extrusion quality to be quite good. But the fact that it's not a large gear, like a much larger drive gear, means you can go fast with your extrusion. You can actually spin it faster, because an LGX Lite does have a limit, and it's limited by speed, how fast you can physically spin it, versus the torque it's able to output. So this is a great compromise. I'm so glad they went with this. Except for the nozzle. Okay, so it's using a blower fan for the heat break. It's weird. So it kind of blows in like this and out the side. I get it, it's compact, but not my favorite. And then it's only using a single 40-10 or so blower for this. Ugh, that's gross. But hey, they include a sock. Look at that. Already better than Crucio. I'm not gonna take it off, but you can see it comes with one of those volcano nozzles installed. Looks like it's a 0.4, and looks like this is also a 0.4, so it comes with a replacement 0.4 in the box. The sock does not fit at all. Like, it's not correctly designed. That's interesting. Wow, what is this cable? What is that? Looks like that's the thermistor. It's a very specific thermistor, and a very specific, well, looks like it's the standard hot end, but it's can't tell if that's a fan header size. Maybe the one smaller, like the stepper motor size. That's an odd size, and the thermistor is very custom. So the first thing I would do after getting this printer is ordering a replacement set of thermistors, just in case this fragile wire gets broken. I'd replace that. For show. Then it has a 3-pin. Oh, that's for that's the probe. So the probe is not a BL Touch. It's a magnetic induction probe. This should be fine because we're not printing with an enclosure. But I've not actually used one of these. I can't comment on it. These are just known to be less reliable and less accurate. Maybe. That's just my brief knowledge of it. So I see an extra plug right here. I wonder what that's for. There's an extra plug just sitting there. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, whatever. We'll get on it. Maybe it's RGB. Or just blank. For anything you want. Yes, these are not standard volcano nozzles. They're not standard volcano nozzles. If you use one, I don't think it'll physically work with the setup. Maybe after you install a mod. So you'd have to just replace the blower fan, like this whole thing, and then the probe has to be raised up, and then you should be fine. So we'll take a look at that later. Probe came loose and crashed into the plate. Really? How's the probe attached? Can't tell. Weird. But that's interesting you say that. Looks like it's just kind of pressed in there, by the looks of it. Not a great setup. For $300 can't play. Exactly. That's the key. This is a really good price printer. In fact, it's almost too good priced. Too good to believe. So I will be attempting to upgrade this to the guinea pig mod, which puts dual 5015s in the back, kind of like Eva, the tool head I have behind there. Has two 5015s blowing towards the front and down, and it looks exactly like that. That is the ultimate cooling solution for like the size that I've seen. So for fast printing, we're gonna need more cooling than just a single little tiny little fan. That thing's a joke. Even Prusa has a 5015. Alright, well, this is pretty simple to install. Install the extruder kits. How do you do this? It has these like clips. Oh, that's just for the power supply. Or not the power supply, but the connector. So it just gets screwed in with 2 screws. It has 2 screws, but then it has these right here. These screws that stick out in the back. But they're purposefully, this is smart, I think. Maybe. They're purposefully using countersunk holes or screws, but they're raised up. See that? They're raised up so they're able to slot into these holes, which probably helps with alignment. Very interesting. Somebody thought about that. Someone's proud. A tiny screw. Got 2 millimeters. That gets screwed into here. I'm not a fan how the whole entire tool head is just attached with 2 screws. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. That is not... It must screw with more, because that is not rigid at all. No, there's more. There's 1 more. So it's 3. There is 3. 1 right on the side here. Yeah, without that 3rd one, that's not good at all. Even with 3, let's get these kind of snug. Yeah, linear. Here's the downside of linear rods. Look at all that play. Ugh. That's what you get when you use linear rod for your x-axis. It's not going to be that bad when you print because it's just going back and forth. But you can see the play, and that would eventually translate into could potentially translate into surface artifacts, but that's at extreme speeds. If you're just going back and forth, there's absolutely no play. And if you go to any printer, you'll see some amount of movement in the tool head, but this is probably, I'd say, like a B in terms of stability. If it looks like an MK3, it's because this is literally the same motion system, except they're using 10mm rod for the x-axis instead of 8. So hopefully it's a little more stable. You would not be able to get away with 8mm rods on this size, I guarantee it. That's, if you think this is bad, you should see with 8. It's a feature. In fact, one of the upgrades I've seen for this, I don't know if it's a standard upgrade, but it replaces one of the rods with a linear rail to provide extra stability. It's kind of neat. It's a good concept, you know, adding stability without actually having a extrusion behind there, but I like King Rune's approach better with their SG rail. That's a much better approach for stability because the whole entire X is rigid. It's not able to flex like these rods. Will it translate into a nicer print? Probably not. Yeah, diminishing returns. Diminishing returns. Helps when the nozzle hits the bed plate. It's a feature. I guess so. It's a feature for the nozzle to be kind of inconsistent. Feature. Please turn the aircraft switch on the control box. What is the aircraft switch? Where's my aircraft switch? Where's my aircraft switch? What? Did that come in one of the accessories? Did I lose it? I don't get no aircraft switch. On the rail? On the rail. Oh boy, you make me hunt for this? It's attached. It's attached. It's attached. It's up. Is it this? Is it this? This. Is that it? Hold on. Oh, okay, this is the aircraft switch. I thought it was on here, but it's not. Control box, okay, control box hanging plateau. Okay. I didn't finish reading the sentence. Go figure. So like that, then like what? Like this? Oh, wait, this is going unlocked mode, which is this. Or actually like this? I don't think it matters. Insert this. Not to bother looking inside of it. And then look back up. Oh, that just prevents it from coming up. Sure. Sure. Alright, filament holder. I'm against top-mounted filament holders because of, again, you want the center of gravity to be as low as possible. Putting a top-mounted spool holder is less than ideal. Especially if you're trying to print fast. It'll be fine for now. For all intents and filament purposes, this will be fine. So we're on step 5. I think. I don't even know what step we're on anymore. Oh, nope, that's step 4. Step 4. Step 4. Putting in the filament holder. It's gonna face let's face this direction. No, this way. It says Sovol on both sides, apparently. It does. This. Okay. Perfect. One more. Read the manual. That helps usually. Tape. This. Oh, filament. Filamentium. Was I supposed to remove that? Oh no. I just like removing random stuff. The filament. Filament. I wonder why this is not built into the tool head. That doesn't make any sense. If you have a filament runout sensor, just put it in the tool head. Just put it right above, like right here. There's plenty of space for it. Just put it up there. Probably better off without it. Without what? Let me just put this on. I do like how these install. They're not that bad. But the fact that it's mounted on top means that it's no longer... You're moving the center of gravity up. Every time the bed moves back and forth, the whole entire spool's gonna move back and forth and bleh. The best thing to do is run a reverse Bowden tube to anywhere else, literally anywhere else. Putting a dry box here, and feeding it up and over, that's so much better. Better cable management? It's not the worst. Ooh. Oh yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, that is nasty. Oh, that is disgusting. I hate bed cable management. Look at this bed. Even with strain relief, it can, like, given it's not that bad, but it could get caught under here under extreme circumstances. Ew. Can you not come up with anything better than this? Really? 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 Okay, we'll deal with it. I've seen worse. Yeah, that's it for today, folks. Just kidding. And the stream over bad cable management. Well, King Rune is worse by default because their bad cable is removable. Great, but there's no strain relief. Put a cable chain on it. I can definitely see something printed for sure. Some type of printed something, even a guide. I don't know, just something. The screen. We'll attach this. We're not gonna attach the screen. We're gonna completely troll you guys. And so, what is this? What's this? There's a motor connector cable thingy. Wire? That's the word. Wire. Go. Very interesting. This printer comes with wires. This goes on like this. Perfect. Oh boy. We're almost done. I'm gonna attach this filament sensor. How? Like, just put this. Oh, that's a change. Yep. This is what I feel like it's supposed to keep that tape. Like, I feel like the tape is necessary to keep it in place. Oh no, it's not, is it? What is, yeah, it should have some type of, there's no way they would just tape as a cable management. There's no way. That's so disgusting. Looks so bad. But it's functional? Yeah. Cable for the display is not long enough. Well, we're not using the display, so that's good. We don't need no display. Alright, now we plug it in. So, no, we didn't finish connecting into the cables. Did it not tell us to connect the cables, or just skip right over that part? I think we totally just... did we? Hold on. Oh, okay. This whole section is attaching cables. Gotcha. I'm not completely stupid. Good. Let's see. Moving this. So, all right. Not the worst in the world, but still, yeah. Favorite. Oh, okay. So it flips like this. Goes in like that. And that kind of goes in like this. No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's a lot better than any other wiring system I've seen. Actually, the route sensor is straight. Straight? Which way is straight? There is no straight. So yeah, okay, not completely terrible. What do you guys think? I kind of like it. A for X cable management. A B- for using a ribbon cable though. I don't like ribbon cables. I don't know. So we have the motor. Is this motor attached? I don't feel anything, so probably not. What the heck is that cable? Where is that cable? I see this. That attaches to, but there's a random one down below. Great. The bed is attached. The bed attached? The bed is attached. What is this random one? Oh, wait a minute. Was that my X? No. Where's my X axis? Ah, hiding. Ooh, that's jank. That's jank. There we go. There's some jank wiring for you. Shame on the big side. Yeah, so this is the X-axis. Don't love it. B-. You can get caught on something. But that's kind of a harder cable to manage. Less ideal. What does this one go to? Filament sensor, maybe? Yeah, it does. That connects to the filament sensor. We'll keep it plugged in. We're probably not going to use it, but at least it's good to have everything connected. So that's the wiring. Not bad. Pretty simple. Straightforward. Crunchy bearing ribbon cables. Yeah. That's not the best. This sounds pretty good. I don't know how the bed can sound a lot better than the X-axis. It's weird to me. And then these are just kind of press fit in. I could probably pop them out. Or do they slide in? Not the best possible setup, but it does have these right here, which is nice. So let's put on our PEI. It does have those two grooves in the back, and it slots in just like that. So perfect alignment every time. Every time. And if you don't know, these are fingerprints, so you put your fingers here. Be too noisy? Yeah. People, it's so weird. People think linear rails are loud, but I think they're thinking of this. This is not a linear rail. This is loud. Linear rails are silent when they're lubricated. Shaft is unsupported, but twist out alignment under torsion. Tension. The Y motor mount. The Y mount. Oh, yeah, the fact that it's like this. So if you go severe, you can do that, but that's a lot more than you'll meet in a typical printing. You're going back and forth. Same thing with this. You're going back and forth. So ideally, and Prusa has been doing this for how many years now? It's been fine or good enough. Ideally, it's fine. Now let's talk about the lube. This is a grease. This is a grease. Here, I'll be right back. I'll go show you another type. Alright. This is an oil. And this is a grease. You cannot put grease on a rail. You can put oil on a rail. In order to put grease in a bearing, you need to... handy. But you need to physically take out the bearing, or slide the bearing out so it's sticking about a little bit. You pull the bearing out so it's sticking out a little bit from the rod. You pack the grease in, and then you put your thumb against it, and you slide the bearing back onto the rod. It'll force the grease into the ball bearings, and then you repeat that process. So that is not possible without disassembling the whole entire thing. And by the looks of it, you could probably access the bearings. Yeah, it looks like it's just press fit. Not bad. Let's continue. We have a lot to do. First, we're gonna hold the printer. So we need to plug it in to get that done. Get this nice little power bar. Let's plug it into. Hopefully I don't trip a breaker. Okay. Turn on. Turn it off. Connect the power supply to the printer. So the power supply works. You always want to test it first. I did that on purpose. Totally. Now turn it on. Hey, we got fan spin. Ah, it's upside down. Fan spin. Sovol. Neat. What's that button do? What's that button? What's that button do? That shows homing? Senseless? Yeah, I guess so. Neat. You've got to be kidding me. Well, it's a good time to test the Z-wobble. The any Z-wobble. Let's install Klipper. So, step 1 to installing Klipper. You have to find the repository. Or some type of guide for installing it. Luckily, I was tested. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Sorry, I should not read DMs during my stream. Exciting things. Very cool. What am I looking for? There we go. So I will put this in chat. So screws loose the top. Let's check. No. So this is improperly designed. There's no play at all in the top. So if there's any flex at all in here, this should have play in the top. It can only be constrained at the bottom. Should. So that's kind of a no-no. Are those soup cans regulation size? These are the big ones. I got the big ones. So yes, actually, I think they are. And ironically, I had 2 of them. So there we go. The printer homes, yay! Now let's install Klipper. So we're gonna shut off the printer. And go to that page that I shared. Looks like... You know what? It has a 4-month-old Klipper build. Let's just do that for the sake of this stream. So I'm going to download Klipper. Put it on an SD card, which is already plugged in. Maybe. Should be plugged in. This is a bad SD card. Could be. Let's use the one that comes with the printer. Let's just use the whole entire thing that comes with the printer. There we go. Perfect. So take this SD card, plug it in. That's the profile you're using before you had switched the board. Loved it. Awesome. Alright, do we have anything? Fan spin? No fan spin? Oh, wasn't plugged all the way. Fan spin? Oh. Hello? SD card? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is there a Wi-Fi module? I have no idea. But we're just using the stock board as a slave. So I don't necessarily need it. Okay, that's not showing up. Let me try my actual computer. Microphone, yeah, microphone. What's that one to? I think that's probably important. Oh boy. Everything's important. You gonna run with a Pi? Yep. So I have a Pi that I'm running this printer off of, and I already have Kahlua installed with more than 2. Can't tag on a phone. Oh yeah, the struggle. The struggle bus. Alright, one of these cables is important, one of them isn't. Is that one important? Doesn't sound like it. Alright, let's see. Is the hardest part going to get the computer to recognize my SD card? Is that literally the hardest part of this whole thing? It knows that it's trying to be replaced. It's like, no! No! Don't kill me! Nothing? Nothing? Wow. Yeah, hardest part is getting an SD card to be recognized from the computer, apparently. Try a good card. If I have a good card lying around. Oh, I do. Okay, here's a 128. I don't know if that'll even work. 128 plugged into a good reader. That just go die. PNY or die. It even rhymes. But yeah, SanDisk. I like the Samsung cards. Can I get anything to work? Too big? Yeah, probably. Just want to see if anything will show up. What can we do in the meantime? Well, printer's off. So far, in Holmes, build quality for the price, can't complain. I'd like to see a Z-axis support of some sort. I wish that they would just put the power supply underneath the printer, but I get it. It's too hard. Wow, nothing's working. How much was it? I don't know. What did I pay for this thing? 300 bucks? You had the worst luck with SD cards? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's unlocked. Anything. Anything work? Antivirus scanner? Didn't. At this point, I'm just gonna flash it over USB. Is this printer compatible with USB flashing with Klipper? No, what is going on? Nothing is working today. I'm gonna unplug my microphone. See if that works. And that is the meaning of life. How do they fit into the slots if they are thicker? What? Wait, what? Oh. Physically thicker SD cards. Okay. That makes sense. I put the firmware that was on that GitHub I can't tell. I know. YouTube mobile, so... And that's what I do. I put on your stream, and I just have it on my phone. So when I'm in a meeting or something, I can mute it, and when I'm not, I don't have to. See if this works. So it still says SV06 Plus. Oh, that's a good sign. That's good. So it says SV06 Plus. So that means that it's potentially Klipper is installed. Yay! Klipper splashed. Cool. Is that the simple bot? This is a simple core. Simple core. Yep, this is my beautiful. Well, you can't see it. Beautiful SV. Oh my god. Simple core with the Pop ASA Pink by Polymaker. You're a simple bot. You're something. How do I? Yeah, this is now Klipper. How to Klipper? Step 1. Find a USB cable. Oh boy, it's micro USB. We're in trouble. Micro USB cable. Micro USB. Aha. Oh, it's USB-C. Oh, the camera. The camera had one. No, that's also USB-C. This renegade had one. This one? Ah, yes. Ooh, don't drop anything on the keyboard. Step 1 Klipper, step 2 Pro. I mean, I don't know. We can argue about that. Is installing a faster firmware onto your printer now able to make your prints faster, therefore making you more money? I think so. Oh, this is for my microphone. Shoot. Where's my USB cable that I was using? This one? What is this plugged into? Something. Micro USB, please. What the heck going on? That is using micro USB. Micro USB. How do I have 10,000 USB signals when I don't need them? Alright. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. We'll see. Very quick. So, I'm going to plug this into the USB slot. And then I'm going to plug it into my Raspberry Pi. The Pi already has a printer, or an OS on it. It's already running Klipper. In fact, it's running about 4 instances of Klipper. One of them is running that printer. Ticket assembly had no issues. Oh no, assembly is very straightforward on this printer. In fact, I was complimenting how the grooves work on the Z-axis. It kind of slots in place. I still have to check for squareness. It's probably not that square on the Z, but it'll be fine for now. Good enough. It's like slightly off. Okay, so the next step is to SSH into the printer. So I think, yeah, I'm already signed in. Oh, maybe not. 160. Oh, that was right. BQ. Oh, that's Shrek. Shrek is my boron. We want 161. Perfect. Alright, perfect. Let's see if I can open up a session. And then I'm gonna go to Klipper installation. I'm gonna find the command ls/dev this. Nope. This one. That one. Type that in. And we have... Sweet, we have... Three things. One of them is a beacon probe, which is just using USB. What is the simple core? What's the serial address from simple core? That one's the one that says Klipper on it. Ooh. Let's see. What does this say? That does not look right. That does not look right. Is this the right serial? MK3. Yeah, it's like what everyone wanted in a Prusa, just like a bigger Prusa. That's all. That's not looking crazy promising. Let's shut it off and turn it back on. Take out this SD card. EBB36 controller and beacon. EBB36 is not USB though. Unless it's connected via a... Oh, is that? Is it? Is this first one actually the EBB? Or the little adapter on the Pi? Could be. This cable could be just not working as well. You're probably right. If I unplug it, we should still get 3. Oh no, we get 2. Oh no, actually, it's fine. Is Klipper not on here then? Because this just says SV06 Plus, so the screen is not working. So I'm assuming that we'll just go with. Yeah, okay. This is the correct value then. There you go, perfect. Simple as that. So we're gonna go into our Klipper config, and we're gonna go into printer.config. Well, first we go into the GitHub, and then look at SV06 bundle. What does that give me? Bundle. It's a bundle of files. Love bundles of files. Let's extract this. To do the proper way of installing this, I would get the latest version of Klipper, flash that, but I'm just using exactly what's on the GitHub to make my life simpler for the stream. So I have the Klipper, I have printer.config. Perfect. There's all kinds of stuff in here. What does the GitHub say? What if I actually read the GitHub? Reprinting modes, display config. Oh, interesting. ADXL settings. Oh, okay. Wow. With the Raspberry Pi and then macros. Ooh. Hoo. Download zip file, upload the configuration files. Does it expect having folders though? Let's see. I'm not sure. Yes, we'll have to change a few things, including the size, but it's the same thing, essentially. Just different size. I think it's the only difference, really. Only, like, major difference. So we have printer.config. Let's just delete this. And this main sale is stupid, so I'm gonna do something stupid. We're gonna do main sale 2.cfg because for some reason it's read-only, and I want to be able to edit it. So I'm just copying mainsail.config, and then printer_1 data. No, 2. Printer_2 data. That's correct. Save that. Yeah, printer_2. So this is because I have multiple printers on this Pi. We have the printer.config. We'll put that in there. And then, no, I can't upload the config file. So options and include. We have printing profiles. What is that? I have no idea. Drivers? Oh, wow. What is that? Oh my god, there's so many files in here. Functions? Oh my god. So much stuff. What the heck? This is nice. Wow. So printer.config. Yeah, that's the right serial, I think. Let me double check by copying and pasting what I have here. It looks correct though. Correctly. Sir. Sure. Wow, this is really nice. Dang. So we have balance, we have basic, performance, and stealth chop. So let's just go with performance for now, because we want to go fast, right? Very neat. Recruiter, we'll have to PID tune. The probe, we'll have to adjust. The bed, we'll have to PID tune. It has a custom thermistor, which is nice. Virtual SD card, we can change that. It's printer _2 _data because we have multiple printers installed. And we're including mainsail2.config because I had to manually change that. And then /config/include.cfg. That's neat. So this include file right here is just includes. So we include what we want. So we want display. I don't actually know how that works. Display, raspberry. I think it was raspberry. Raspberry. Is that an ADXL thing? Is that an ADXL raspberry? Raspberry? There's options.config. Okay. Options! Oh. Okay. Yeah, residence compensation. We're using... I'm just gonna use my own, probably. Maybe? Maybe? It's probably not gonna work because my version of Klipper on the little ADXL is different. I bet it's not gonna work. So, not gonna worry about that today. Plus, I don't think there's even a great mount for it by default. So I'll probably have to print out a mount and run that test. Well, let's announce the back. That'd be nice. Is there a display config in there? It said there was. It did say there was. Alright. Printer tutor config/config. Printer profiles performance.cfg does not exist. Does it expect folders? Oh, it does. Oh, that's annoying. Does it expect folders? Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I gotta... Okay, so I gotta do directory config, and then drag everything into its respective... Oh man, let's just start over. Can I start over? Oh boy, I had to copy, like, this thing. Yeah, I could just put this into the... In fact, let's just do that. I have it open right here. Let's go into printer 2 data, config, and delete everything. Delete it all, except for printer.config, and then Moonraker, and then macros include. Okay, so I should be left with... Oh, I got rid of the wrong thing, didn't I? I got rid of... No, Moonraker, mainsail. Yeah, everything but those. Okay. So we should have the exact stuff we started with. Then we config, and then I need to include that right there, and then all the rest of the stuff. Perfect. Now it should work. Aha. Okay, so we have some naming issues, which is to be expected. Include /config, include.config. Okay. Include oh boy, where's the wrong thing? Where's the wrong directory? Oh no. Oh no. We have to hunt now? Oh god. Files? Why is there nothing in there? Oh, do we... Wait. Profiles. There should be stuff in here. Why is that empty? Did it just upload blank folders? What? What the heck? Did it? Did it upload blank folders? No, steppers are in there. Printing profiles, that's all in there. So why is that not showing up? Oh, it is. I'm just not seeing it. Alright, cool. Aha, yeah. So all of the... Yes, all of these have to be printer _1 _data. No, _2, because this is our second printer. This is me being cheap and using a single pie for more than one printer. Cool. So this is cool. It has custom profiles. So different speed settings built in, which is kind of cool. Because everyone's going to want to print differently. I think it's working. Let's see if it works. We have reasonable temperatures for these. Do you think it'll work? If I hit home, we'll hit home. There we go. Klipper's installed. Easy. That's just homing works. It's probing in a weird spot. Because, guess what? We forgot to change the bed size. But it'll still work. So that gives a reference of how big the stock printer is versus the bigger printer. We got display now? No display. So let's see. Under... Let's keep going. Functions. Display. We have to do a firmware restart. Display is not working. Display is for the old model. Aha! So it probably won't work. Okay. Yeah, so it's for the SV06, which is different. But I don't care. I don't use screens on printers anyway. If anything, we can install Klipper screen. Right? We have our Klipper screen setup we can put in. So that's fine. What else do we need? We have Raspberry. We have the temperatures working? We do. We have temperature Raspberry Pi. Display won't work? Okay, that's fine. We'll just unplug it. Bye-bye. See you later. So all we need to do is go to printer.config and edit our size. No. We need to go into config, printing profiles, performance. No. We need to go into drivers. Refresh that. No, that's just the drivers. They argue we're connected. That's really cool. So we can adjust the currents. We're gonna go into functions. No. Steppers? Probably steppers. That sounds right. Performance. No. Basic? No. 64 micro steps. What? Aha! What's this? This is what I want. Perfect. No. Yes. Position max. Position max. That's extruder. No position. Alright. So, position max for the stock printer is 225. What do you think this printer is? I actually have no idea. 300? No, position max, not printing area max. Position max. Let's try 290 by 290. No. 310? We can do 305 just to be safe. And we can test it. It's not that hard to test. The bed is 10 less? Is it 10? We'll start 305 and then go from there. And the z-axis, what's the z-axis supposed to be? You're saying X 310, Y 320. Is that the actual travel that I can go? We're talking about travel, not printing size. This is just travel. 350? Potentially. Oh, the height? The height's 350? Is the height really 350? Is it seriously 350? $340? $340. Let's do let's just do 330 for now. I don't like going up right at the max anyway. And I'm not going to be printing off anything that's exactly that tall. Especially not this printer. But it's good to have. And Z Safe Home. So, oh god, 85. 130. What is that? What is that value? Can't do that in my head, but we'll take this and multiply by 2. That makes no sense. Oh jeez. I have an idea. We'll caliper it. There we go. That's what we want. Perfect. So I'm going to go over about approximately 38. I need to add 38 to the X. So, do math. So 85 plus 38 equals 123. 123. Now on the y-axis, we need to go back about 30 as well. Let's add 30 to this. That is just, what, 38, I said? So 136 plus 38 equals 174. 174. Perfect. Okay, save and restart. And we'll see where it homes. Essentially seems fine. First try, right in the middle. Wow. Look at that. Nice. Close enough. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay. Alright. Alright. Now, unfortunately, we have to do a PID tune. So let me steal some PID tuning. Unless it's a macro. That'd be amazing if it was a macro. It's not a macro. Why not? Sad. Okay. Let me steal a macro from my other printer. Macros. Macaroni, cheese. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna run a PID tune to 220 and see what happens. This is the exciting part. We're gonna watch it PID tune. Ready? I'll even give you the close up. This is the most exciting part of 3D printing. You're gonna want to see this. Oh my god. It's doing the thing. I'm letting you let you see the fan because it's doing the thing. Oh my god! It's still PID tuning. Well, while it's doing that, let's get the slicer set up. Let's get the slicer going. I wonder if they include a profile in here. It includes the profile. Slicer, start, and print. Oh, neat. Did they fix the strain relief? They did, but the wiring is still jank. It's quite jank because it can still catch on this back corner. It's not good. So I can see something that restricts it to this direction, maybe like a cable chain. No one will learn. I actually don't mind the ribbon cable that much. I don't mind it. It's jank in a way that's out of the way. It's a good jank. I've never seen good jank in a cable before, but this is good jank. In 3D printed mods, I'm sure there are. I am sure there are. The top head view of it doing a PID tune. Obviously, this is not exciting, but any questions so far? So, how long have we been streaming for? About 2 hours. We already have Klipper installed. We're running a PID tune. Next thing to do is set up a slicer profile. Let's just use Prusa Slicer. Nah, just kidding. We're gonna use Orca Slicer, the slicer of 3D printing people. Let's see. So this is Orca Slicer. Can I add a new printer in at this point? Which one is the closest? Ooh, Anchor M5. Let's see, Sidewinder, Ender 3. Ooh, Prusa. It's a Prusa. This is essentially a Prusa. Yeah, let's do a Prusa. Perfect. So let's go to Prusa MK3. Nice. I'll do it. New project. Look at that. Beautiful. This is gonna be quite funny. So printable area, is it printable 300 by 300? Probably. Texture, remove. There we go. Okay. Klipper firmware. Printing height, we'll do 330. Cool. Good enough for me. Machine G code. We're gonna remove all of that. We don't want none of it. Then this one. Preciser. Start code. See if this is gonna be the same. Might not be. But I think it is. Focus slicer. So we'll see if this works. And the NG code. And print. Oh. Perfect. One macro. Perfect. So this is going to do an M104S0. So setting the bed target to 0 for some reason. And then it's going to set the nozzle to 0. Wait. M190. I don't know why it does that. I'll be completely honest. We'll leave it in there for now, sure. It probably knows what it's doing. We're gonna get rid of this right here. Pause. We have a pause macro built in. Let's see what we have. Oh, cool. Fine, it's done. Now we can do the bed PID tuning. Ugh. That's gonna take forever. You use the MP3, make the bed bigger. Well, we're running Klipper though, so it's not gonna be the same as anyone else. This is Klipper, so we'll throw away all the Marlin stuff. Especially this config. This is a very specific config where I gotta go to my simple core and grab my macros. I have a macro for. It's not a macro, just the command. It's easier than Googling it. Then, whoops, dashboard. There you go. PID tune to 60. And I'm gonna rename this too. This is SV06 Plus. Perfect. Like different UI settings on here. Play cancel print. Oh, I gotta do the dashboard. So ready for this? Miscellaneous goes here. Then machine settings go here. And then extruder goes here, and the macros go here. Perfect. That's my typical layout. PID tuning's gonna take literally 10 years. I'm not joking. Thank you, Jano, for stopping by. Very successful Benchy. I have a special print that I might do. Consider it. We haven't even done the Z offset yet. We haven't done anything. So it's not quite as simple as just plug and play, but it's not that bad. Once you've done this a couple times, it's not that bad. There's the guy who's done it a couple times. What we're doing? Orca Slicer. Oh, we're looking for a pause macro. So let's make another machine. Config. I like how it's organized. To be honest, I've never used folders for organizing anything. Ever. Macros. It's gonna be a macros. Functions. Macros. Aha. We have a load filament macro, an unload filament macro. We have an M600 for filament change. So in our slicer, we put M600 for filament change. Great. Cancel print. What is pause? So typically, what's the pause? I'm gonna swatch check. I mean, at this point, we probably should. If I make the streamers print a swatch truck, I should probably make a swatch truck of my own. The streamers. Technically, I'm one of the streamers now. But I don't see a pause macro. Interesting. Huh. Is there even typically a pause macro? What's the pause command? Is M600... Well, M600 is a filament change. Override. So if I go to... M600 does a filament change. With a small retraction. So I guess it doesn't matter, does it? If I have that also as my... So typically there's a pause macro. At least that's what I've seen. We'll probably just use the Andrew Ellis one in the future. But what happens if I hit pause? Huh, I'm confused. Well, we'll do M600 for now. Doesn't sound right, but sure. Motion ability. Oh yeah. This is the bed slinger, so let's put it at 10,000 Excel. This is a soft limit. Well, technically a hard limit. Z? What is that typically? Z? Like 1,000? What's the acceleration on Z axis? 500? What was it? I don't know. E 500, I think that's fine. Maximum acceleration for extruding, I don't know those values off the top of my head. Maximum acceleration for retracting, that's another one I don't know. Yeah, the Z-axis, like on that printer, I can do quite fast Z. But I don't trust this one, even though it's like the same setup as both lead screws. You can go very fast on lead screws, but should you? Maybe not. Okay, an extruder, 0.8mm tractions, probably fine. No Z-hop. Go to that jump. 0.32 for the layer max. 0.08 is fine. I think that's good. I think we're good here. Save as SV06 Plus 0.4 millimeter. Cool. That's set up now. Now let's grab a profile. Let's do generic PLA. Perfect. Oh, we can do E-steps calibration. Yeah, we'll do that too. That's exactly correct. 0.925. Alright. First layer, I like to do 220 for... I like to print to 220. Let's keep it at 215, actually. The cooling on this printer is very, very less than ideal. 8 volumetric speed. Did you load test this printer? Let's set it to, I'm guessing, for PLA at that. Probably, oh god, 14? We'll keep it at 60 for the bed. So. Shrinkage. Oh, Orca Slicer finally brought back shrinkage. Amazing. Amazing. Price, 20. I think it's like 25 for PLA Pro. Non-soluble material, cooling. Always on. Slow down for better cooling. Yes. Minimum print speed. I like to do 25. Override. Nope. Nope. Save that as Polymaker PLA. Whatever. The flow test was pretty high. Yeah, it has the orbital, like the essentially an orbiter for an extruder, which, as we know, is one of the best extruder designs. So this is going to be SV06 Plus. Okay, good enough for now. And then the profile. Wow, there's one profile. What's our... Is this done yet? No. Not even close. Alright, let's see. So because we're... The weird thing about flow is because I set it to 92.5%, when I tell it to do 0.4 line, it's actually going to make it smaller. So I always add an extra digit. So I do 0.44, 0.55, 0.44. Inner wall I do 0.55. Top surface 0.44. Sparse infill I do 0.66. Solid infill 0.66. And supports 0.33. A little bit smaller than the nozzle. That's what I would typically do for... let's see. This is standard. And then SV06 Plus. Okay. Arachne, turn that off. I still don't like it. We're going to use Precise Ball Experimental. I haven't had a bad experience with that yet, so we'll keep it as that. Elephant foot compensation, I always do 0.2 millimeters. Every time. I always do 0.2. Don't know why, but that's what I do. No other compensation is fine. Bridge flow 1.1 because we're lowering our extrusion multiplier, so we want to increase the bridge flow. It's weird, but that's typically what I do. We'll leave everything else the same. Save it as we go. Strength, 3 walls is good. 4 top, 3 bottom is okay. 50%. I don't do grid, I do rectilinear. Because it does one layer, then does another. Otherwise, you can have pillowing if your filament isn't perfect. Precise walls, weird. Is it weird? I do detect thin walls. I've had pretty decent luck with it. I mean, we should probably... we'll keep it. Sure, we'll keep it. I found it works okay. Then again, I haven't done a really good test on it. I'd love someone to go through all these settings and do tests. Oh god, first layer. Do 40. And then 50 for infill. Outer walls at 40. Inner walls at 80. Infill's at 200 millimeters a second, but it's going to cap out at the flow that we set, which is for now 14 millimeters cubed. Ideally, I'd run the calibration print, which is like this thing. Oh. Is it always going to be there? It's like, what? For some reason, there still isn't a generic printer option for this slicer that I found. Unless I can get rid of the... No, there's nothing. There's no model, there's no nothing. I don't know how to get rid of that. If anyone knows, let me know. But, yeah. At least you can name your plates now. That's also something interesting. This is the newest version that was just released today, which is version... Oh. Help. Oh. 1.6. 1.6. You model the print. We're gonna do a swatch truck. My bot wants me to do a swatch truck. Please, how dare you? There we go. Lovely swatch truck. Which is going to be essential for getting our first layer dialed in, and then verifying that the flow is correct. Yes, this is the bamboo / crucia slicer port. Can't you just set the bed size? No, we're using Klipper, so there's no profile set up for that. I'm not going to use the stock crucia profile because that's not great. Way too slow. And some oddities, like Z-Hop. Z-Hop? Who uses Z-Hop? Travel speed, I do 250. Acceleration? Oh boy. So there's no ADXL. There's no input shaper yet on this printer. I guess we're gonna have to leave it kind of slow just to start. Ports, nothing. Brim, no brim. And then I think we're good. Label object does work now. Oh, that's the thing we'll have to put in. Just still doing the thing. Almost done. Almost done. We need to put in something very important. Very important. Which is exclude object. Exclude object now works with Orca Slicer. Amazing. What did you send me, Liz? I don't even want to look. I don't want to look at that. Alright, and another thing, we're gonna hide backup files. Oh, that drives me crazy. Having like 1,000 backup files. And it just backs up to the same config, so if you lose your config or your pi, it doesn't matter if it was backed up. So printer.config, we're gonna put in right here, because I don't know where else to put it. Exclude object. Save and close. Almost done. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost done. Just about there. And 2 more things to do. We have to, number 1, adjust our E-steps, and then number 2, dial in our offset. We'll dial in, just get a rough offset. So what are we going to print for filaments? What do we want to do for filament? So PLA Pro is my go-to for calibrating E-steps because it is a harder filament. So it's, I guess it's better, or it's more consistent between different more consistent between different no, it's not. What is PLA Pro? It's actually, no, PLA Pro is not as hard. Sorry, it's regular PLA. Whatever, I still use it for whatever reason. I just keep it consistent. And it probably doesn't matter that much. So this is some blue, Polymaker Blue, PLA Pro. We're just going to use it for the E-steps calibration. So I'm going to plug it in. That tensioner is way too loose. And get it so it has a little bit of tension on it. Okay, interesting. Hey, save config, perfect. Okay. Let's now heat up the hot end. Oh, it's a slow hot end. Damn. Now listening to the background, it's been a very interesting stream. Great. Hopefully you learned something too, kind of like my process setting up printers and how I do stuff. Apparently it's different than other people. So I set my extruder to 230. I'm going to keep my bed preheated to 60 at the same time, just to keep it preheated. So when we go to do our print, it'll be fine. Plus when we do our Z offset, we'll be fine. Oh, what's this? Aha, neat. So it does have some settings in here that you're not going to be able to read, but it does give you... Oh wow, it wants a retraction distance of 0.5 millimeters. Interesting. Retraction speed 30. Okay, we can do that. That's what it tells us. Because it's using a bimetal heatsink, and going further might cause clogging. Retraction speed set to 30 by default. Minimum travel absolute retraction 0.5. Don't know what that is. Background layer change, yes, that's always on. Alright, save that. Alright, so that's preheated. Let's do a, oh wow, a pressure advance of 0.035. Huh, interesting. Let's bring the Z up a bit. We can't, we have to home it. Let's home it. Then bring up the Z. So slow. I think I have 80 millimeters a second on this printer right here for my sensorless, and that works fine. You can go faster for sensorless homing if you have individual axes. Okay. Let's set the Z to, let's say, 100 millimeters. Hey, it's actually moving. Look at that. Moving. And we get some black filament. Nice. So let's do an extrusion Oh, is there a K2 clip on here already? Nice. Let's do 25 millimeters at 5 millimeters a second. Nothing. Tip not good enough. I think it was pushed down by myself. That's a good start. You don't also have issues with this? Oh yeah, just the tip. Tip needs to be formed. All that black filament. Nice. Okay, looks good to me. So next, we're gonna grab some form of ruler. I have one that I use typically. If I can find it. Let's see. Finding something that I need? No. Not on streams. Impossible. Unfathomable. Well, we'll do second method. Precise measurement with the caliper. Got a print off of this yet? No, we're getting there. We got extrusion. Here's our first print. This is the good old G1 E25 print. F 300. Beautiful. So I do 150 usually. It's a little more accurate. So lock this at 150 or so. Let's get close enough. We're gonna make sure that's roughly the 80 steps. And then I press the end onto here. Right. Put the end right against this metal part on here, and I take this and I make a small incision on the filament. This is kind of a rough test, but it works. A small incision so that I know where the mark is, and then we're going to extrude 150 millimeters. Oh. Okay. We have to increase our limitation for extrusion. So it won't let me extrude more than 100 millimeters. So let's go into the simple core, machine, printer.config, and then our extruder. Oh, our that's right. EVV36. There we go. That's where extruder lives now. That's weird. So we have our max extrude only distance and extrude cross-sectional area. That essentially removes the manual extrusion limits and never shuts off the printer. Because you can send it G-code that's more than that, and it'll just shut off saying, you've done messed up. And that needs to go in, not printer.config. It needs to go wherever the extruder lives. Where the heck is that? Drivers? No. Steppers. Yes. So right under extruder, I put that there. Great. You may or not have ordered one of those. Print helmet's okay with that size. Yeah, this is a decent looking helmet printer because the bed is actually rigid and the extruder is the whole tool head is supposedly good. Supposedly. Klipper's up to date? Really? Klipper's up to date? I stole this off of a random... Oh, that was the .config file. Maybe Klipper is up to date. Alright, fair enough. Oh, we're gonna preheat everything 230 and then 60. So this removes, heating it to 230 removes any restriction that the filament might face. And then we're gonna extrude at 2 millimeters per second, which is about 5 millimeters cubed. I usually do 1, actually. As slow as possible without taking 10 years. We already measured 150, so let's just extrude 150. Wait, do we not save? Do we not save our config? Do we not save? Is that not our config file? That's right. We have all kinds of different things. Yeah, Stepper's performance. You're right. So we gotta put that under. Now it includes steppers.config. It does. Micro steps 32. I don't know why it double. That's weird. I don't know why it double puts the extruders. Or the micro steps. That's weird. What are these files? But I have this on here. Huh. This must be included, because it wouldn't work if it wasn't. And our Z-Safe home we already adjusted. Line 5. Oh. Duh. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, carrying on. Oh, 280 is our max temp. It's good to know. Yep, it had it listed twice. Yep. You are absolutely right. 1000%. Alright, now we can do 150 at 1 millimeter per second. And hit go. It should be close, hopefully. Because this is a pre-tuned profile and the extruders are the same. So what else is there to talk about? The printer? What filament do you want to use to test the swatch truck? Let's use... Let's use some... This. Just like this color. Polymaker's Easter edition filament. It is a purple, but it's a marble purple. There's little black specks in it. It's a good color. Keeping an eye on our mark, which is up here. It's going. It's going. Where'd you get the config for this? So, I got the config. I'll post this in the video description. But, I got it here. This is a SV06 specific, like the non-plus specific Klipper config. But all I did was adjust the size of the printer and the safe Z home. That's all I did to make it different. Everything else works fine. I even used the firmware _klipper.bin, and that works fine. But it has pretty much everything you need, including Z offset macro, load unload filament macro, print start end macros, a bed mesh macro, gantry calibration macro. Oh, we have to calibrate our gantry. We have to We have our soup cans for that. We can't just not calibrate our gantry. Jeez. So, unfortunately, these are driven in parallel, so there's no way of adjusting the Z tilt automatically. All they would have had to have done is add one extra driver, so that it could probe on each side and then get the perfect offset, which makes so much sense because it's a fixed bed. So if I was ever going to upgrade this in the future, I would use something like an SKR, or well, a Big Tree Tech Manta M5P with a 5-driver board, has a built-in Pi. That'd be a perfect upgrade for this, with a little printed case on it. I think that'd be nice. But let's see how far we got. Perfect. We are exactly on the mark. Like, literally. That's actually kind of impressive. Oops. Close up. We are exactly on the mark. So, that little, like, slightly less blue mark, that's the closest I've ever been without adjusting anything. Our second print. Fancy. So, welcome in, Maker Viking, Dulcifer. And everyone else, of course. I haven't greeted every single person on the stream, so I do apologize, but I think we're making pretty good progress. Alright, just gonna remove this, cut off the tip. Cool off. Back on our K2 clip. Beautiful. And then we can put on our Easter Purple. What's the official name for this? It's Marble Purple Polyterra. So this is a Polyterra. This is going to be a great test to see if the printer is good or not. If you can just print Polyterra, right? Because it's the printer that can print Polyterra. Put that in. Beautiful. Actually, no, sorry. We have to do a Z offset. So there is a macro that says Z offset bed temp 60 send. Gonna home the printer. We're gonna use this calibration paper that it comes with. Yes, this is the Sovol SV06 Plus. So the tried and tested SV06 is bigger and faster because it has a volcano style nozzle. But don't think that you can just throw in a volcano nozzle. Oh no, no. Can't do that. You have to use their proprietary volcano nozzle. Or just replace the part cooling fan and then adjust the probe. I'm thinking about installing a guinea pig on here. If it's the same configuration, I think a guinea pig would work perfectly fine. So there's a cool tool head that puts 2 fans out back, kind of like Eva. And it's really nice. 300 by 300 by 240. 340. 340. Alright, so we're just going to use the interface, which looks like this. And we're gonna lower it using this first. Get close, and then we're gonna dial it in with this. So that's touching. We're gonna go up a little bit of touch. We're gonna go down a little bit more, and that's probably about good. Good enough. Might go up a smidge, just to get our baseline, and then we'll do live Z adjusts as we go. So save that config, and then one very important thing to do, this is very important and critical, this is the most critical step. If you're gonna listen to any part of this, this is what you have to do. To align the Z-axis together, you manually bring it up Nobody's not greased because my hands are clean. Mainly bring it up. My hand. With the motors off. Okay, just like that. Then you grab your Campbell's chicken noodle soup. And you put them on each side. Bring this up so it just barely goes above them. Okay, and slide your calibration soup underneath. And then the bed's actually at 60°C right now, so it's warming up the soup as we go, so we can reward ourselves after. So place one on each side, and then slowly bring the Z-axis down on each side until it just barely touches. Barely touches it. You should be able to slide in and out your soup perfectly fine without causing it to touch. Okay. That. Beautiful. Now it's aligned. Now never touch the tool ever again. Can't you use 1, 2, 3 blocks? I have no idea what you're talking about. You have to use... This is a Sovol, so you have to use your calibration chicken noodle soup. There's no other way. Cool, now we can do a test print. So we have our swatch truck. Swatch truck. So we're going to do File, New Project. Cool. Let's go into the... Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. So we're just going to do a import a model. We're going to do the swatch truck. We need to really dial in our Z offset. Slice it. And send it. See if it works. Oh! We have to set up our Wi-Fi. So this is 192.168.1.161? Yeah. And this is port 7126. Yes, works correctly. Perfect. Save that. How's it going? Have you tested that Orca Slicer yet? Yes. Yes, I have. as I'm in the Orca Slicer. So I'm actually on the latest version that was just released today, 4.6. It's version, what, 2.6 or something like that. They fixed label objects, so now it actually works. Oh, I didn't actually adjust this right. I should have done more top layers. Oh well. It's cancelled. Alright. Exclude object, oh boy. Oh boy. Do I have something weird in here? Oh, exclude object? I think I just need a label object, don't I? And then I can reprint using... I want to do 10 top layers, because it's a swatch truck, and then do 40% infill. What slicer? This is Orca Slicer. Orca Slicer, which is formerly known as Soft Beaver's fork of Bamboo Studio, which is a fork of Crucia's... hey, it's working. Crucia's Slicer, which is a fork of Slick 3R. Got it? So, is this gonna work? Is it gonna run a bed mesh? I have no idea. I gotta adjust the Z first homing speed too. It's a little slow. Not the end of the world, but now we wait. We watch. Always watch. I cannot stress that enough. Always watch when you do your first print. Make sure the nozzle's not crashing. Get your hand on the emergency stop button in Klipper, or the power switch if you're running Marlin. Let's see. So we're heating up to 220. Heating actually pretty fast because it's a volcano, and I'm guessing it's probably a 50-watt cartridge. Guessing. Might need to add more voltage to the motors. I'm running in performance mode, so I can check once the print starts and see what it's running at for current. We're almost at 220. It overshot a little bit. Now it's dialing back on. Pretty good PID tune. Bed mesh, unknown profile. Unknown profile. So it wants us to do a bed mesh. It wants us to run a bed mesh. Okay. Fair enough, we can do that. So because it's a fixed bed, I don't like that, but we can run a bed mesh. We can do it. On this. And let's check. Printing profiles. It probably says that in this too. KD tune, bed mesh, 25 point. Oh, okay, there's a bed mesh command. Okay. Alright. See you later, Rick the Viking. Thank you for stopping by. There's screws in your bed is truly terrible. Is there? Hey. It's a fixed bed. Oh, it's only fixed at 4.2. That's rough. Oh, that is really rough. It's not, though. That's weird. Is it fixed in the middle, too? Well, that's weird. It does the 4 corners and then 4 in the middle? Huh. Interesting arrangement. Yeah. 4 in the corner, 4 in the middle. Very interesting. And that's not for adjusting, because that's fixed. You could probably shim it if you need to, but... Go here, and then run a bed mesh. But we're going to use the macro, which probably saves it as a specific thing. Bed mesh at 60 degrees C. Send it. I'm guessing you'll save it as SV06 mesh. And then we do our start print, it'll load that mesh in. It assumes that the z-axis hasn't tilted. That's the issue with running a bed mesh when your z-axis is not linked, because your z-axis can go a little bit out of skew and just ever so slightly mess up your first layer. So typically I'll run a... Cancelled? Oh, it's waiting for, okay. It's waiting for the bed to heat up. Yeah, typically I would just run a bed mesh for every print. But if you have a fixed bed, it doesn't matter as much. Especially if you only print at the same bed temperature. So while that's running, why don't I show you something else that I'm working on. It has scraper. Oh, it has scraper to remove this part. Oh, wait, this PI can turn off. This is Gulsifer's beta basement for a Rook. So this will support a power supply and Ender 3v3. Let me see if it actually works. This is the first time I've tested it. Bridging, acceptable. I can trim that off. All the hexagons look pretty good. A little bit of layer lineage, but I'm not going to complain. It's a 3D bridge. That's doing a very intense 25 by 25, no, 5 by 5 bed mesh. No, what is it doing? Oh, we have to adjust our bed mesh area. Yeah, we're gonna just do emergency stop. And we have to adjust our bed bed mesh. Because again, this is set for the SV06. So we're going to go to functions, bed mesh, and then do mesh min 28 by 28. That's an odd number. What should our max be? Let's do, what, 300 minus 220. So we'll add 80 to either side. So I'll do 285 by 285. And we'll do a 7 by 7 bed mesh. Perfect. Hexagons, yes. What was your comment? You said you were trying to do helmets with it? I didn't see anything else besides that. If I missed your comment, just re-message, because I probably just missed it. Want to update? I don't want to update. Not right now. Okay, we'll try that again. Bed mesh, do 60. Send it. Now we should be good. Anyway, what I was saying is, yeah, this is the basement for the Rook. Without feet? Oh yeah, there's no feet yet. We'll deal with that. I get the loop. It's using a very specific power supply. This one right here. You think helmets would be okay? Yeah, that's what I was saying is, I think because this is a pretty rigidized printer, and if you go slow enough, it should be, for the price, probably the cheapest possible printer that I would recommend for doing helmets on. So, there you go. Let's just get press fit in. Did it even attach? What the heck? How does this work? I'll have to consult the designer of this and see how this is supposed to attach in here. Oh, does it just tape? Let me guess, it's just double-sided tapes in. Ha! Alright. So this will go something like this in here. And the board will go there. That's not bad. Okay, good enough. You going for 338 ship with the code? I think I got my, yeah, mine was $2.99 because I got it less than 5 minutes after it launched. Need the hole spacing? Go to the power supply, test it. Gotcha. Yeah, well, it fits physically, so that's good. Just needs feet mount, probably just the stock holes or something. But yeah, pretty good so far. Doing the world's slowest 7x7 bed mesh. Tips. When printing ABS or other high temp filament, we suggest printing an enclosure. So put this in an enclosure. 20% fan speed can help improve print quality significantly when printing most of high temperature filament. Printing effect is not as good as expected after fan setting 25%. Do not turn on the fan. But essentially, if you're printing ABS, especially with this tiny little fan, put it at 20%, maybe a little higher. That'd be a Rook Dungeon, aka basement. What do we name it? The barracks? So the barracks is the official, well, the first mod for the basement. So what do you guys think? YouTube notification didn't work. I did ping the Polymaker Discord. So if you want these notifications, make sure to check out the Polymaker Discord and enable notifications on the Who Is Live Now. And that you'll get my notifications. Otherwise, you can join my private Discord server. You have to message me. Eventually, it'll be public, but I get notifications there too. But yeah, you missed unboxing, setting up, doing one home, immediately installing Klipper, and now we set Klipper using one of the stock configs. We're doing a bed mesh that gets permanently stored. Ducta Pros are weird. They're weird. That's all I have to say about that. Reasonable. Now, first impressions. The x-axis does not seem great. It just sounds crunchy. It's like a little bit ball bearing-y. So I'll have to probably add lube, which requires taking apart the whole entire tool head and then saves the profile. Okay. And then adding lube in the bearings. I'm actually gonna take apart the whole entire printer just to install or put in lube. Octo Everywhere is live for Klipper. Yeah, there's been Octo Print and or not Octo Print. There's been remote management software for Klipper for a little while now, I think. Or was it just in beta before? I'm not sure. We have a kitty cat. We have a cat. We're gonna say hello, Ginger. And keep this at 60C for the bed, and then we're gonna keep the extruder up to what, 220? And we're going to verify in our printer.config that the bed mesh saved. Printer.config, and verify that bed mesh saved. Yeah, it says SV06 mesh. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So then it'll load this when it does the print, which is here. Great. Yes, don't knock the stream of line. Ginger likes to walk on the power button, don't you, on my computer, and causes a power outage. Ginger is a special kitty. What would you rather see, cat or printer? Cat or printer? Cat or printer? Cats, man. She's a very cute kitty. Yes, this is the female orange cat, which apparently is a oddity in cat culture. We wait. Let's wait very long because the bed's already at temp. What do you think? You approve? Okay, this is the critical section. I'm gonna put you down now. Okay, we extruded. Oh, it's going for it. It's going for it. No skirt and anything. It's still blue. Didn't purge nearly enough. Wow, looks like a print. Look at that thing go. Look at it go. It's printing. Printing. Yeah, good old Sovol. Printing. Looks like our offset's half decent, which is good. Probably use a little less squish. I'll keep it like that for now. What is it doing? We're doing the info first? What? The imprecise ball is a weird thing. We don't need it. It's doing something really weird. Yeah, precise ball. You're right. It is weird. Yeah, so I'm just using my stock settings, which I went through previously in the stream. You can review if you want. But no input shaper yet, so no fast printing. No fast printing. We could make it go fast, but it'll have green. I feel like more squish? It's very strange. Something's really weird here. Yeah, something didn't print right. Oh, it might have, oh. Something's bad. Something is just bad. Hold on. Something don't look quite right. What is the issue? The squish seems fine, but why did it not print first layer right? Here we use the special spatula of doom. Ah ha ha. Who needs blue snips when I have spatula? Ugh, it feels so wrong. But it actually looks weird. Ever slice that without precise ball? Pulling fans link back to oh yeah, for sure. For sure. You need to heat it more. That's true, it's Polyterra. So let's oh, G2, G3. Arcs. Arcs. That's our issue. That is exactly our issue. So it's trying to do arc commands. Let me guess. The slicer has arcs enabled by default. It's because it runs Marlin by default. So it needs to use arcs. I thought we have it on? Aha, arc fitting. Yep. Yep, that's our issue. Arcs. It's trying to do circles, but it's like, nah, man, we're not gonna do circles. Circles are so... they're lame. That's our issue. Alright, no problem. And then we're going to increase the temperature because this is not regular PLA, it's Polyterra, which means much higher temps to print right. I'm going to follow my own advice. So we'll do 230. Yeah, 230. C. I'll do 220. It's a volcano. These speeds, probably 230. 230C for Polyterra. Oh, max volumetric speed. It's at 200. Yes, that's an issue. Because I saved it as a... yeah, okay. Try 14 again. Oh, silly me. Okay. Slice. Yeah, so I turned it off. No more arcs in the slicer now. We'll go again. Or, alternatively, I could just put the config into Klipper to enable arcs, and that works too. It's probably best to have that in there just in case it tries to submit an arc command, but I just turn it off because running Klipper, it's just going to increase the file size. It's not needed. Save that. Without arc fitting. Perfect. Alright, let's see if it works. What do you guys think? Is it gonna work? Or is it gonna fail miserably? We get a little too much squish the first time, so I'm just gonna go up a little bit. I see enough so it sticks down, but this is just a flow verification test because we tuned our E-steps. So if our E-steps are tuned and our flow is tuned in the slicer, which is what we're testing, then this top layer of the swatch struck will look pretty much perfect. This is a little bit of under extrusion, a mild bit of under extrusion on here. Here we have over extrusion by a lot. This wheel is entirely caked. A little more squish. Getting big. Perfect. Looking decent. I think. Really hard to see with that big fan there. I'm excited to install the new tool head if it's compatible, or waiting until it's compatible. Yep. It's a printer. Are we expecting anything more fancy? It's printing. Printing. Like our first layer is offset fairly well. The flow is good. We set a limit of 14 millimeters cubed, and it's fine with the Polyterra. Let's wait for this to finish. Takes about 20 minutes for this to print. Nice quick print. I'll put the link for this down in the video description as well. But this is my swatch truck available on printables. And thanks! But this is what I want to eventually do. This is called the SV06 Dual 5015 Guinea Pig version. So it puts two 5015 fans in the back, blowing down into these ducts. And it looks kind of like that. So it's sort of like an EVA and how it works, which gives you so much better cooling. Not only does it it'll blow better from both sides, but it has two 5015 fans versus one 4010. Or maybe it's a 4015. I can't tell. It's a very small fan that it comes stock with. So I'm excited to see this project go forward. And I know it's not going to be compatible yet with this printer because the Volcano is lower, but hopefully soon. XP6. What's this? The Plus. Unless not. Okay. Oh well. Remix. Daddy Wazzy. Wait, what? Excuse me, what? I guess there is one. SV06 Plus. Whoa. Nice. We're gonna save this into printer mods. Printer mods. Where are they? Mods. Rad. Printer mods. Perfect. I'll give that a download. So that's just the fan ducts and head. Nice. So I need those two, apparently. Testing works great. Mindful of screw lay. Okay. Countersunk screws. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Daddy Wazzy, the creator. So I'm going to get that installed if you're interested. That is a remix of a remix, which is interesting. But that is this model right here. There we go. But yeah, it's printing with Polyterra. I did not clean off the bed yet. I wonder if it's actually gonna stick. But 60C bed temps, 230C on the hot end. It's capping out the float around. Let's see. That's it. 13 millimeters cubed, 14. Burst of 14 or so. I'm not going to bother doing any speed prints on this because the fan I know is just not going to be good. No point in doing that. Plus, it's not tuned. So the next step is finding a mount for an accelerometer, an 80XL. It looks like this right here. Mounting that on here. I could probably download something off of Printables. And then running an input shaper test, getting the resonance for wherever I plan on putting this. Probably, I don't know. It might live down on this shelf down here instead of the Kaiwu. I'll move the Kaiwu somewhere else. Maybe. We'll see. Running out of spots for printers. But I like this. This is going to be a great addition to the printer collection. I'll be able to do large prints without worrying too much. I'm not going to modify this crazily. I'm going to upgrade the cooling. But otherwise than that, I'm not touching the extruder. I'm not touching the hot end. I'm not touching anything. Just the part cooling. And then any other minor little mods that might go along with it. Yeah, good job, Sovol. Great job. I'm looking forward to future printers you release. This is a huge step up from the King Room printers that I've used in terms of just little minor things. Very little things that kind of make it, to me, a better experience. Especially the tool head. Huge upgrade. The wire mod, yeah, so fixing the bed wire, that's going to be a priority. This wire, this seems good. I'm going to leave it like that. It actually is quite nice. I'll never touch that ever again. The X motor, this is a little bit jank. We can leave it as is for now, but maybe there's some type of thing we can help it with. Some type of guide. And then, oh, excuse me, maybe a cover for the cable in the front here. So I'm envisioning a cover that bolts onto these two screws and goes over this whole thing, kind of hides this cable. I can see that being a thing. Track guard so loose filament doesn't get stuck down there. You mean on here? I don't do that a lot. I just like, yeah, I just don't. But that could be a good idea, just even in black. I can also see some printed panels to go in here. Maybe an ABS, just to make it a little more finished. Yeah. What do you guys think? If you're watching this in the future, leave a comment down below. What did you think of this process? Are you thinking about getting this and installing Klipper on it after seeing how easy it is to get this installed? Given we didn't go through the whole process of getting an OS set up on your Pi and Klipper and stuff, but honestly, that process is pretty simple. There's plenty of guides on how to get Klipper up and running, so follow one of those. There's already a a whole entire .bin compiled at the time of this recording. Go with the Plus now. I would get this over the regular. If it works the same, it has the same toolhead, plus higher flow with the Volcano, even if you print the same space, it's gonna be a better printer. It probably will be. The size of bed difference, the weight is probably not significant, especially if you run Input Shaper with Klipper. For normal printing, it's probably going to be insignificant based off of compared to the regular Sovol. It does take up more space. It's not terrible, but it takes more space. But looks good. Lead screws are presumably straight. Looks like it'll support anti-backlash nuts if you really wanted to. Probably not necessary. Max temp. It's limited to 280 in Klipper. I wouldn't go much more above that. That's a thermistor limitation. But it says 300C in the manual. So 300C. But if you're not printing nylon, you're probably not going above 280 anyway. And I probably wouldn't. 10mm Z rods and X. The biggest is 10mm X rods. That's going to give a lot more stability for the longer length. Rods are not great at spanning long distances, but ZEB is fine. Good enough. Now we're just running 1,000 acceleration, and it's fine. All good. So our infill looks good. In fact, we're right at that threshold of we could probably increase the flow a little bit more. Pressure advance actually looks really good out of the box. It's set to 0.035 in the slicer. That's what the profile comes with, and that seems pretty much spot on. So I gotta give props to the developer of this Klipper config, who is, what's their name? PR20100. This was sent over to me as an example, and I blindly went for it, and yeah, it worked fine. It really did. Just make sure that when you import the files, it's in the folder structure that's shown, otherwise it won't work. But, yep, it just works, and that's really nice to see. And there's many different options, too, if you want to go with slower or, quieter printing. I think this is running spread cycle. It's not even running self-chop. It's reasonably quiet. Interesting, run input shaper different heights, see how the top compares to the bed. Yeah, that could be done easily. Yep, that's a good test. It's a good idea. And it's not the slow or the quickest, but do one here, and then do one here, and then do one here. Yeah. I'm guessing it wouldn't be that noticeable. That's just my guess. Wouldn't be like that crazy different. Just for the input shaping tests. It's almost done. 69% done. About 5 minutes left. Anything else I can show you? I'm currently printing out Polysmooth Scientists. Polymaker Scientist and Polysmooth for the Rocky Mountain Rip Rap Festival. So if you want to go and see them, there's going to be quite a few to look at. More than 5. At least 5. More like 300, if all goes well. So I've been currently printing off some different things over on here. More printing going while I'm waiting for this to go. Just finished drifting connectors for new CAN bus board. I think there's 4 different connector types. Oh, I know. Ooh, we got a little mini one too. I went with the Big Tree Tech EDB36 for my simple core over there. And it had 3 different sizes, which is fun. But that one has beacon. That's a fun thing to run. What'd you miss? Let's see. We set the printer, we homed the printer, we shut off the printer, we installed Klipper, we configured Klipper, and we're printing a Swatch truck. Pretty reasonable. See, beacon would be great for a printer like this. Not necessarily needed, but being able to do a quick 20 by 20 bed mesh or whatever be nice for a probably less than ideal bed. So in the background, I'm running a Z-tilt on this printer, which you can even list like half of it. Got new filament? Yes, this is Polymaker's Marble Purple. Only available in the Easter pack, so if you're interested in it, make sure to get it now before it runs out and then is no longer stocked, because it's a Easter color. That's done. Now I have to run a bed mesh. It's so cool. If you've never seen a bed mesh on Beacon, I could bring you into the close-up camera. It just scans the bed. It's really cool. So this is a 20 by 20 bed mesh. Done in however long that is. The new Beacon probe. Oh wow, that PI is not on at all. Ha! Wonder how that shows in the window. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's what happens when your thing isn't aligned right. It's like, yeah, 1.5 millimeter range. That sounds about right. Yeah, sounds just about right. Need a retaining thing for this. And now it's gone. See you later. This is the height map. Oh wow, this is our height map apparently. Woof, that is rough. That is rough. Dang. I didn't even look at this yet. Look at that. 0.6 off. Ugh. Yee. Yeah, so something needs a little bit of hammering. This is a fixed bed too. I used to print the clash a little bit. A little bit. What do you think of that? That's the stock bed in the SV06 for the 7x7 bed mesh. 0.6. That is rough. That is rough. So maybe we'll have to check the bed screws and make sure they're all screwed in. Oh, it means I have to redo the bed mesh. Oh. Common issue? Really? Issue? I mean, this is unusable almost. If you're trying to press something big, that's rough. You have to do a lot of manual tuning of the bed, manual shimming. Wow. You're just like that too? It's because it's constrained in some really weird points. I don't know what their thoughts were on that, but... Everyone has that complaint? Okay. So what's the fix? Is the fix to shim it? Because it only needs to be about, I don't know, I like to get within 0.3 millimeters, maybe 0.4 at the worst possible. But like this back corner, in fact, it looks like the whole gantry is tilted. So, SoupCam method is, was wrong, unfortunately. Despite it needs Z-tilt, it needs to run a bed mesh every print and do a Z-tilt before. Crying. The printer's crying for a proper controller board with 5 drivers. Spacers. Yeah. Dang. But hey! We have a print. We have a print. So let me show you the print as close up as I can. So I'll give you my initial thoughts as well. There's not finished cooling. Fine. Then we're gonna take a look at the bed after too. If you shim it, you have to level the gantry with the frame and not to the bed, so you don't have a tilted bed and a tilted gantry. Oh yeah, that's a good point. All right, here it is. This is our first attempt at a swatch truck. Hello? Focus? Focus. Focus. There we go. Hey, we got it. There we go. So a little bit of under extrusion on the top surface. Little tiny bit. But overall, not bad. Acceptable. So I'd probably... This is using the precise wall feature in Orca Slicer. So I'd try turning that off. The 4.3 wheel. It's supposed to be loose, and the 0.2 is loose, so yeah, the whole thing is a little bit under. I can move the 0.1, so it's using probably the precise wall feature to either that or the flow is off. So maybe increasing the flow for this. But wow, the wall quality looks really good. It looks really good. The sides of it. You're not really going to be able to see that on camera, but the sides look pretty dang good. So I would probably... E-steps are good. We're not going to touch that. Either increase the flow or try it again with the precise wall off. But the flow seems... But yeah, it's probably the precise wall because it's only under extruding on the external walls. So we'll turn that feature off. Oh. Okay. So we have a interesting model to test now. I'm not going to touch the bed level. I don't feel like re-leveling it, but I'll do that off stream, messing around with the bed. And for future updates, check out the Polymaker Discord. I'll update my progress there. You can @ me and ask me how my printer's going. That's not going to cause any trouble. Let's see. So this is a new model in progress by K2 Kevin. Nice bunny, nothing weird about it at all. And we're gonna try printing this in fuzzy skin mode. Oh. See what that looks like. Yeah, it looks nice. Did you use a squash truck? Swatch truck. Swatch, like a filament swatch. to adjust per filament. Yes. Yeah, so you print this per filament, and this should look perfect. If it doesn't look perfect, then you need to fix something. Either temperature or the flow, usually a combination of those two. Or to test the printer profile, if you're printing too fast in your top layer, squash truck. So this is only an hour print. That's not bad at all. You have to print this really big. Only 20 grams of filament. Let's increase the size of this bad boy. Uh, 200%? What's that? Oh, that's big. It's a big print for a... It's actually kind of funny. You can pretty much print... Most of the stuff I'll print in this printer can fit on a regular SV06. But this has a high flow hot end, so it makes it slightly better, I guess. 117 grams. Yeah, we can decrease the infill to like, let's use lightning. Yeah, most of it doesn't need support on the inside. A little bit up here. And I like to do more top walls, top surfaces with lightning. 55 grams. Alright, now we're talking. Now let's make it bigger. 400%. How tall do you want to go? 300? Nice. Maybe even like 2 walls? I don't know. Make it extreme that. Yeah, I could, Good streams to make your deck on Twitch. So most of it doesn't need support. That's nice. Only a 14-hour print, that's not too bad. What do you think? Should I send it in fuzzy skin mode? Or not fuzzy skin mode? To show off the beautiful filament. What happens when I don't do fuzzy skin? Fuzzy? Well, this is the Polyterra marble. I wonder how that looks in fuzzy skin. Guess we'll have to find out. Move is good. I can find out how it looks. It'll look good. It'll look good. I want to get more lightning though. Can I get more lightning infill out? I never like lightning because I always feel like it's gonna fail. I feel like 50%. I don't know if it actually makes a change, but it comes with a 0.4 nozzle. 0.4. But that doesn't really mean a whole lot because you can still print wider lines. It's fine. In fact, I can do... Let's speed up this print. We'll do 2 walls, but then we'll do the outer wall at 0.55 and the inner wall at 0.66. A little bit of robotic. You always get confused with the Prusa XL. What do you mean? More lightning. That was only 12-hour print. And less filament. Make it taller. 320. We go up to 330. XL comes to 0.6. In most cases, you probably won't tell a difference, but if you're trying to do intricate stuff that connects, then 0.4 is better. 330%. Is even centered. Yeah. This is a fun print. Alright, cool. Cute little bunny rabbit. Here. How's that look? Is that gonna be structural at all? Man, I feel like I kind of want to do 3 walls just so it's somewhat structural. Yeah, I revert. We're going back to 3 walls because this is Polyterra, not the most structural filament, and it's hollow. Just to be safe. We'll keep our Ginger. Ginger wants attention too. Got sold in the 0.6? Nah, you only get 0.6. Like, the difference between a 0.4 and a 0.6 is minimal, but 0.4 to 0.8, that's when you start getting into this stuff. Essentially, when you want to increase your layer height, that's when you want to upgrade your nozzle. So if you want to do more layers, just jump up to a 0.8. But 0.6 is like the happy medium. But I think 0.4 is better for most models, and 0.8 is better for bigger models. Because you can force a 0.4 to be a 0.6 easily, but you can't make it go to higher layer heights like a 0.8. That's just been my experience. Let's do this then. 300 grams now. What I changed the inner wall. We can do more flow. We can go 16. Sure. I don't know if that's going to change anything, but we'll see. Glitter clogs. What kind of glitter are you using that clogs? Like pro tip, if your glitter's clogging, you're probably not printing hot enough. 17 hours. I keep increasing it? What the heck? 17-hour print now? What did I do? What the heck did I do? Oh, layer height. We can increase that, for sure. We don't need those small layers. We can do big layers. 0.32. That'll speed it up. Yeah, it really depends on the model, I'd say, for the quality of stuff. It's very model dependent. Depending on, if you're just doing circles, then you'll never notice the difference. But the biggest difference is the layer height. 11 hours, that's not bad. That's reasonable. Quick lightning is working okay. Lots and lots and lots of lightning at top, perfect. So we have a nice top. And then the rest of it pretty much is hollow. They're knocking over everything. Anything but the keyboard. Fun, 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 fun. I think that was a pretty productive stream. How long have we been streaming for? I have no idea. We were streaming 4. We started 3 hours ago. It's 1:30 in the morning. About 3 hours. 3 hours before starting. In less than 3 hours, we started our entire print. Ginger for Rocky Mountain? What do you mean ginger? Bring ginger? You want to go to Rocky Mountain? No? Says no. Weed. So we're gonna watch the first layer go down and then call it night, because that's about it. It's a printer. It runs Klipper just fine. It needs an ADXL tuning, faster acceleration, but yeah, it's a printer. Notably, a printer with this is what I consider a minimal motion system, like minimally accepted motion system, at least what I accept. because there's no V-Wheels. V-Wheels are dead in 2023. No more V-Wheels. So linear rods at a minimum. Preferably linear rails. That's going to be ideal. Very, very ideal linear rails. That's my hot take. I like linear rails. Is that hot? I guess not. Sure, they might be slightly more expensive, but for a bigger printer especially, I'd love to see that an upgrade. Would you say a 6-driver board upgrade? Well, 5-driver. Something like something like this would be a really good upgrade. So this is the Ginger. Hey. This is the Manta M5P with 5 drivers. Has a CM1 slot, so this will run your Klipper instance. It has the 5 drivers. Pretty much everything you need. That's what I would aim for. Or, are there any other 5-driver boards? Your proofs? Yeah, pretty much. Any other 5-driver boards? I don't think so. Just the SKR3. Ha! Sounds like R2-D2. That's funny because we don't have Stealth Chop running right now because we're in performance mode. But ideally, you'd want to turn on Stealth Chop. Ginger, don't press any buttons, please. Thank you. First layer could probably use it's not ideal. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to adjust the bed. So, bonus, the plus sides, we have a great motion system, a good motion system, not great, good. SKR E3 Turbo. You get the 1.4 turbo for if you just need like a cheap driver or a cheap board, for sure. So I'm running on the PQ, which needs 5 drivers because it has 2 independent motors for the Z, and they move independently. Yeah, not loving the first layer on this. So, major issues right now is the bed. That's not really usable for large prints without major bed mesh compensation. Ideally, you want to be... My rule of thumb is no more than 2 layers worth of bed mesh compensation. I guess that's just what I go for. Because the middle, actually the whole thing just needs more squish, doesn't it? That 230, right? Yeah, so 230, 60C. Probably a little more squish on my end. But the bed mesh shouldn't look nearly like that. Extruder seems pretty good quality. Just look at the walls and the swatch truck. You can't really be able to see this, but this would focus, then you'd see that the walls are pretty dang good. I'll post pictures on the Polymaker Discord of this. Actually, I'll do that right now before I forget. Wall quality, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty dang good. Like, this is beating out some of my other printers right now in terms of quality. And wall quality is indicative of 2 things. One is your motion system, how smooth it's able to run. because we're using linear rails, it's going to be smooth as is. 2, the extruder plays a huge part. Extruder, the nozzle being the same consistent temperature, because it's a volcano, you're always going to have, you should have more consistent temperature on the filament. So more consistent temperature means more consistent extrusion, meaning cleaner prints, but the extruder plays a huge part in making sure there's consistent extrusion. So the combination of all of that, I think this is a winner. If I can just fix the bed, then yeah, good. Looks pretty dang good. You added insulation to the bed when you decided to shim it. This comes with insulation, by the looks of it. Has insulation. This right here, this black stuff is insulation. Yeah. And because we're not using this in enclosure, like I'm not gonna be, I could probably print ABS on here if I shoved it in enclosure. But to be honest, I probably won't. I see some people just throwing this inside of an enclosure. Not the worst. Probably not the worst for it. They really improved with Plus. Yes, they seriously did. I'm very impressed with. I don't have an SV06, but what I've seen from it, they've taken a lot of feedback and improved upon it. And they were thinking a little bit with the larger rods for stability. There's some minor things like not running toothed idlers in the for the X and Y. It seems to be printing fine regardless. They did put on Gates belts, so these are official Gates belts, which do work okay around smooth idlers. But during normal printer design, you would put a toothed idler. Oh, I didn't check the belt tension for the bed, but it seems fine and pretty easy to adjust. 2.4. It needs some tuning, but it's been pretty good so far. I'm having some help over in the Born Discord. They've been very helpful on getting it set up and tuned. What does a toothed idler do? So there's a smooth idler, which is smooth, where that rubs around. So that right there is a smooth idler. And a toothed idler is, it looks kind of like that, if there wasn't filament there, but there's teeth that grab the filament. But I mean, it seems to be fine. And the bed's running smooth. We're gonna break it in, get some big tests going on it. I'm gonna let this run, and we're gonna watch a couple layers after the stream ends. But make sure that it's working. Send it. We'll see if it works. And then on a future stream, either over here on YouTube or over on Twitch, I regularly stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/ZombieHedgehog, and sometimes on the Polymaker stream. I'll probably be still printing on this during that. Solid nylon cube, 5-day maximum build volume. One day we can do something like that, printing out like 1 kilogram of something useful, not just a solid cube, but a kind of like a fancy cube. If I could find a use for something that big, I would consider printing it. Giant like plate cubes. Maybe like a giant number block, ABC block. But with the bed mesh compensation, it's not great. It's not perfect. But it is getting the job done. Can't really be able to see that because it's moving. But it's getting the job done. some areas that are higher than others. We are not printing in that rear corner that had an issue. So once again, I'll have to just tighten down everything, maybe shim some sections to get that bent mesh a little more flat. But let's close off the stream by saying, would I recommend this printer? From personal experience, so far it's looking decent, but I'm gonna give my solid recommendation after a little while of printing. So I'll probably try to do a month update on this if I don't go too crazy and mod it. But I can definitely see myself using this as a kind of like a workhorse printer, kind of a it just works printer. I love having those, stuff I can send a print to, not have to worry too much about. But fixing the bed and then making sure the gantry is level, we'll have to get all that tuned in. Eventually, long term, I can see myself upgrading the toolboard to include 5 drivers so we can do tramming on the gantry, automatic tramming. Maybe instead of that, linking the 2 rods at the top, I can see that being a possibility, including some. Actually, it'd be very simple, just including a belt that goes across the top. Since these are constrained anyway, that's probably pretty easy to do. Maybe even someone that's already selling it as an upgrade kit. But just enough to make sure that they don't go out of tram. But yeah, this has been the SV06 Plus. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down in the description. I'll do my best to answer. If you have any questions on the process I went through, you probably might. So either join the Polymaker Discord and ask there. You can always tag me or leave a comment. Make sure to like and subscribe. I do all kinds of different 3D printing content, such as building custom printers, doing weird stuff with things people send me. We talk a lot about filaments. We do some work with Polymaker, so there's always some Polymaker doing something, which is really awesome. So, no, really, thanks for this. Thanks to my patrons and anyone who's donated over on the Twitch stream, because without you, I would not be able to buy printers to do these types of unboxings / tutorials / builds. If you'd like to see something very specific on the printer, or I completely mod it, let me know. I'll probably run some basic tests like flow tests with different filaments. Maybe print some PETG on here. That'd be a nice printer for that. And then, of course, some quality tests, seeing what we can get out of the printer. And quality / speed. Maybe this would be a good printer for that. So, that being said, this has been Hedgehog Makes. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and thank you for watching. Have a great night, and bye. Layer. Too bad I think it's some lose some. You're still listening? Like the stream. Like it right now. You want to like it. You haven't subscribed yet? Oh my god. Subscribe! You think Marlin's better? Oh boy. Oh boy. Someone likes Marlin. Oh no, Marlin's great. Marlin's great. Marlin devs, if you're listening to this, you're doing a fantastic job. I just personally like Klipper. Bye!